What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns welcoming you to Q&A 17.0. In this series, you submit questions, and I do my best to answer them, whether they're revolved around Grand Theft Auto Online, Mafia 3, gaming in general, personal, advice, etc. Doesn't matter whatever the question is, I will answer it as long as you submitted it in a timely fashion. And for those of you who missed out on submitting a question in time for Q&A 17.0, fear not, I will do Q&A 18.0 sometime in July. Just keep a lookout on the other social pages, Twitter, Facebook, and videos leading up to the next Q&A. I always try and mention it a few times, giving you guys a window of opportunity to submit a question. All right, before we get started, I want to talk about something I'm really happy about. No, not losing 30 subscribers in the YouTube purge. Thanks, YouTube. It's all right. Hopefully those were inactive channels, accounts, and that's not really a big deal to me, so that's not really a loss. What matters is you're still here, so as long as you're still here watching my videos, liking them, leaving comments, and sharing them, I'm fine. I don't have a problem with that. What I'm really excited about, though, is getting over 250,000 views total. Hell yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm jacked. I know there are other channels out there that get that on a regular basis. Okay, but I am not one of those channels. Well, not yet. So yes, thank you so much for getting me over 250,000 views total on the channel, and of course having nearly 1,350 subscribers again. You guys are awesome, and like I always say, you are the best subscribers I could ever hope for. So without further ado, let's get to Q&A 17.0, your questions. We're going to start things off with Young Knight because he submitted the first question. GeauxBurns, if Grand Theft Auto Online could learn anything from Mafia 3, what would it be? Well, thank you for the question, Young Knight. And I thought about this over the past few days, and rewatching some of the gameplay that we've seen from Mafia 3 so far, the one thing that Grand Theft Auto Online could learn is improving melee combat and attacks. Because that's one thing that kind of sucks in Grand Theft Auto Online. Yeah, we do have melee weapons like knives, baseball bats, golf clubs, machetes, etc. But really, it's not that impressive compared to the shooting aspect of the game, or the ability to drive and fly. So yeah, I really wish that Rockstar would really try harder in the future, in the next Red Dead game, the next Grand Theft Auto game, to work on improving the melee skills of our characters, especially when it comes to Grand Theft Auto Online. You just swing at each other, and most of the time you miss. It's really not the best melee attacks in gaming in general. All right, so thanks for the question, Young Knight. The next question comes from the Games Guy, aka Adam, one of my oldest subscribers. Do you think Grand Theft Auto Online is becoming too expensive? I keep getting left behind every time, and it sucks. I can't afford to buy shark cards every time or have enough time to grind often. Also, what am I using to record my PC footage on? Okay, so first off, let's talk about what I'm using to record some of the video that you guys see, including in this Q&A. Not the video that you see playing where I'm goofing off with Crone on the PlayStation 4 right now and driving around. That is done through the game capture, either on PlayStation 4 or through Elgato. I have the ability now to record through both. But whenever you guys see me do, for example, like a newswire for Grand Theft Auto Online, or the Mafia 3 viral videos, whether it's the postcards, New Bordeaux Tribune, etc., I use a software called Camtasia. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's by TechSmith. It is awesome, but it was not cheap. It was $300. But I really needed a software like this. And maybe there's like a free version out there that doesn't have a watermark on it, because that's one of the reasons why I didn't use the demo version, because I didn't like that damn watermark. It was just like right there in the middle of the screen. If it would have been off to the side, that would have been one thing. And after playing with it for a little bit, I decided to go ahead and bite the bullet and put it on my credit card. Just like what typical Americans do, right? So it has been a godsend for me. Over the past few months of me using it, I'm glad. It was a great investment. especially as I continue to grow my channel. So I definitely have no regrets about that software, and spending a few bucks on it. Because in order to grow your channel, in order to get better at what you're doing, you need equipment, you need software, you need hardware, like my Blue Yeti, which is what I'm talking through right now. That costed a few bucks too. Once again, in my opinion, a pretty good investment. All right, so is Grand Theft Auto Online getting more expensive? Unfortunately, yes, it is. And I really do feel for a lot of the gaming community out there that feel like they're being left behind, where they're not able to, grind enough missions or heists in order to raise the money in order to buy the new content that comes out with each update. That really sucks. And I also get that, most people out there can't simply, drop a couple bucks on shark cards either. And there's obviously other ways you can make money in the game now. You can do it through the new CEO mode, which is kind of an investment because you drop a lot of money to buy the office and the warehouse, and then eventually you'll break even, but then you'll be able to actually start really making some serious cash once you get that investment paid off. So it's not easy making money in Grand Theft Auto Online these days in order to buy the new content, because Rockstar raised the prices, which absolutely sucks. So I completely agree with you, Adam. I think that it is way more expensive than it used to be when it comes to content in Grand Theft Auto Online. Our next question comes from Riley. Question: from what we've seen so far, Clay seems like a more serious character than Vito. Yes, Vito took his work seriously, but he would still crack jokes and be relatively funny around the people he worked with. Do you think Lincoln is going to be more serious, and will that take away from the overall feel of the game, or do you think there's a funnier side to him? It's just that we haven't been able to experience it due to the small amount of gameplay we've seen so far. Thanks for the question, Riley. And regarding Lincoln, yes, obviously he's a pretty serious-minded character because he was an orphan. He, went off to fight in the Vietnam War, and of course, when he came back, for a short time, he was kind of happy with Sammy and the rest of the Black Mob before they were murdered by Sal Marcano, and he was left for dead. So I can understand why Lincoln Clay kind of sort of has a chip on his shoulder, but I'm hoping that Lincoln Clay also has a nicer, funner side to him than being all serious and going in as a war machine. Now, in the One-Way Road trailer, we briefly see some glimpses of him happy, hanging out with Ellis at Sammy's, drinking, having a good time. And in the recent Kickback trailer, which is voiced by the same actor who's voicing Lincoln Clay, which makes me believe that that's just simply lines that they took from the game itself, it seems like Lincoln Clay has a certain amount of affection towards muscle cars. So while he is serious, he probably has an appreciation for, some things, for, having a good time, cutting loose, relaxing, and driving around some pretty sweet-looking muscle cars like the Leopard and the Stallion and all the other muscle cars we'll see in Mafia 3. So I think Lincoln Clay is going to be a very complex character. He has a serious side to him, but hopefully we'll see more to that as well, like the funny side, a side where he can kick back and relax and chill a little bit. So yeah, I definitely don't want Lincoln Clay to be a one-dimensional character, because none of us are. We all have, times when we're in a good mood, where we're in a bad mood. Yeah, so hopefully that will be the case as well with Lincoln Clay. Thanks for the question, Riley. Moving on to Llama. All right, so Llama has a question. He doesn't know if he should pre-order Mafia 3 or wait for the release, and if so, which version. So I just mentioned the Kickback trailer, which is, promoting the bonus that you get for pre-ordering Mafia 3. That includes 3 awesome cars and 3 badass weapons to go with the game. And it doesn't matter which version of Mafia 3 you get, standard, deluxe, or collectors, as long as you pre-order it, you're also going to get the Kickback bonus, which is a pretty good deal. Now, what version did I get? I decided, after some debate, because I have both an Xbox One and a PlayStation 4, I had to, kind of think about the future. So in September, when Forza Horizon 3 comes out, obviously I have to get it on the Xbox One because I don't have a PC that can, run Forza Horizon 3 or most games in general. So I had no choice but to go with Xbox One for that. But at the same time, I'm running out of room on my 500 gig memory. So I have no other alternative but to play Mafia 3 on my PlayStation 4 because it has way more memory available, because I only play like I guess, one game on there right now, and that's Grand Theft Auto Online. I mean, I've had other games like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, what was it, the cool Mordor game, that the Battle of, I don't remember. It was really awesome. Prequel to the Lord of the Rings game, movies, books. And what else? Just Cause 3, which I briefly played. So anyways, I have more room on the PlayStation 4, and that's the reason why I pre-ordered Mafia 3 on the PlayStation 4. Now, which version did I buy? That was another debate. I had to go back and forth between either the Collector's Edition or the Deluxe. Now, both versions will also come with the Season Pass. So, that was something I already had right there at the top of my head. Okay, either way, I need to get, the version of Mafia 3 that has the Season Pass, because obviously I'm not only going to cover the game itself, but whatever DLCs happen to come out for Mafia 3. Ultimately, it came down to, the money. It was way more expensive to buy the Collector's Edition than it was the Deluxe Edition. And I bought a few Collector's Editions in my time, including one for Arkham City. And honestly, if I could go back, I probably wouldn't have bought the Collector's Edition, even though I have this really cool statue of Batman. It's just a thing. It's just a chunk of plastic. And in the end, I don't need that. What I need is a good quality video game. That's why I got into video games, not for all this other stuff. Now, some people might like collecting that sort of thing. I don't really care for it anymore. I mean, as long as maybe there's a map that goes with Mafia 3, which I hope there is, because we got a map of Empire Bay for Mafia 2, I'll be peachy. So I decided to go with the Deluxe Edition because it was cheaper than the Collector's Edition. Plus, I really didn't need any of that other stuff anyways. And I also needed the Season Pass. At the same time, I got the kickback, bonus for pre-ordering the Deluxe Edition of Mafia 3 for the PlayStation 4. So thanks for the question, Llama. Hope that helped. Next, we go to the Joe questions, because I got a few Joe questions from Kyle, from iCool, and of course from Jetpack Jordan. So I'm going to put all your questions together into this one section. So first off, we had iCool ask, do you think Joe is still alive, or what happened to him? And Jetpack Jordan basically asked the same question on the PlayStation 4. Do you think we'll find out more about what really happened to Joe in Mafia 3? So we're going to address that first, and then we'll talk about Kyle's question. Now, Joe, okay, I'm going to try not to spoil it for you too much. I'm just going to give you the basic. Most of you who have played Mafia 2 know what happens. Vito is saved by Leo, but what happens to Joe remains a mystery because he, quote-unquote, wasn't part of the deal that Vito made with Leo. And so, at the end, Vito's driving off in one car with Leo, and Joe is in another car going in a different direction. Now, it's left to the audience to ponder what happens to Joe. Many believe that Joe was offed, that he ended up sleeping with the fishes, which is a very real possibility. Now, hopefully, that will be addressed in Mafia 3. I believe that Hayden Blackman and several other members of the Hangar 13 team have said that Joe's mysteries and other loose ends from Mafia 2 will be addressed in Mafia 3. So hopefully, one way or the other, we will find out what happened to Joe. Personally, I believe that he's dead. I believe that whenever you're in that kind of work, criminal organization, and when you're not part of the deal, they're not exactly going to say, here's your pink slip. You can no longer be in, crime anymore. So you have to go get a real job at McDonald's or, at the Wall Street or wherever. I think Joe's been sleeping with the fishes for quite some time now. Now, the next question revolved around Joe ties into Lincoln Clay. Because in Monday's video, we found out exactly when Lincoln Clay is born. January 1945, which raised the speculation, is Lincoln Clay actually Joe's son? Now, the theory is, and this is just a theory, something we were bouncing around and speculating in the comment section on Monday, is that in order for Lincoln Clay to be Joe's son, Joe's mom would have to be black, obviously, and she would have had to have lived in Empire Bay for some time, and I guess maybe her family is from New Bordeaux. Now, here's how the theory goes. And I don't really believe the theory. It's just something we throw out there. that, Joe was involved in this, obviously very taboo interracial relationship with Lincoln's mom in 1944. She gets pregnant, and maybe an enemy of Joe's found out about it, and Joe had no choice but to get her out of the city. So she had to flee Empire Bay, and in January 1945, in New Bordeaux, Lincoln Clay is born. A month later, Joe had to flee Empire Bay as well, if you played the DLC for Mafia II, Joe's Adventure. Or you did what I did and just went and watched the cutscenes. Because, yes, I played Mafia II, but then when I played one of the other DLCs, Jimmy's Vendetta or Revenge, it was horrible, and I decided not to buy any more DLCs for Mafia 2, which is why I missed out on Joe's Adventure. But anyways, Joe, too, had to flee Empire Bay in February 1945, and he was gone for 5 years, and they say he went south. So it's very possible that he may have ended up going to New Bordeaux to reunite with his lover, and, I don't know, raise Lincoln Clay for a while, and maybe either Clemente's men or the Southern Union, found out about this, taboo relationship, and, had Lincoln Clay's mom killed, and Joe had no choice but to give Lincoln up for adoption. That's the theory, which I don't buy in. By the way, I absolutely do not want Lincoln Clay to be Joe's son or Sal Marcano's son, because that's the other theory as well. I prefer it being a mystery, but that's just my 2 cents regarding what might have happened to Joe and as to whether or not Joe ends up being, Lincoln's dad. Let me know below in the comment section, what do you think about this? Do you believe that Joe's still alive? And could Joe be Lincoln Clay's baby daddy? Chime in below in the comment section. Okay, so the next question comes from FinnyBoy2K13, aka Phoenix, one of my longtime friends and subscribers. After the recent update for Grand Theft Auto Online, which is your favorite DLC and which is your least favorite? Since we've gone on for nearly 20 minutes, I'm going to make this as quick as possible, Phoenix. Okay, so my favorite DLC is still Heist. I still think that's the best update because it added a feature that was missing from Grand Theft Auto Online. And I realize heists aren't what they used to be because they're old. They haven't released any more new heists, but they were still a lot of fun. And if you have a good team with you, you can make some serious money doing the heist missions still. And a lot of good content also came out with Heist. In fact, I ranked it #1 in my best DLCs of 2015 video for Grand Theft Auto Online, which is in my Grand Theft Auto Online DLC playlist. Now, my least favorite DLC that's come out in Grand Theft Auto Online, may be a surprise to a lot of Grand Theft Auto Online fans. No, it's not Beach Bum. I did a Beach Bum rant explaining why it's not my least favorite DLC because it gets such a bad rap. But let's talk about my least favorite DLC. Now, in the best DLCs of 2014 video, which is also in the same Grand Theft Auto Online DLC review playlist, at the beginning, I had Flight School in last place, in 8th place actually. I went back and rewatched it. And I had LTS in 7th place. No. I had LTS in last place and I had Flight School above it. Okay, that's where the error is. Now, at the time, I thought LTS was the worst update. However, I did not bank on all the awesome user-created jobs that were made from the LTS creator. Like, snipers versus stunners and all the various other versions that have come since. In other words, I think that LTS is a way better DLC now than it was when it first came out because the vehicles that came with it were kind of crappy. But the LTS creator redeems that update from all the awesome jobs that have been created since. Now, Flight School, in my opinion, is probably my least favorite DLC. And that's because the trailer was very deceiving, and the Bestro, which I'm still salty about, doesn't have any weapons. It's like the fastest jet in Grand Theft Auto Online, but the damn thing doesn't even have guns on it, so I don't know. And the final question for Q&A 17.0 comes from Boss for the win. Do you think there will be a beta or demo in Mafia 3? Okay, so I really hope that we get a demo from Hangar 13 for Mafia 3. Even though they don't really do demos anymore, I've noticed that trend from a lot of games lately. But if we get one, it's probably going to be very short, maybe like 15 to 30 minutes in length, and it's going to be like very confined. But at the same time, hopefully it'll give us some basic ideas of what to expect in Mafia 3, but I'm not going to expect a demo. And I seriously doubt that there will be a beta, well, an open beta for Mafia 3. I wish there was, but I don't see that happening. Anyways, thanks for the questions. Boss for the win. Finny Boy. All the guys that asked questions about Joe. Cool. Jetpack Jordan. Kyle. Llama. Riley. The Games Guy. Young Knight. You all are awesome. And I hope my answers were acceptable to the best of my abilities. And once again, if you want to include questions for the next installment of Q&A, all you gotta do is just be on the lookout. It'll come up in a few weeks, sometime in July, and I'll probably post it on the Twitter, Facebook pages. So either follow me on Twitter, or you can like me on Facebook, or both. Whatever you prefer. I would recommend doing it if you have social media besides YouTube, because I don't just post videos, I also post my vlog videos. And if you're not subscribed to the vlog channel, which is in the featured comment section, you might want to go ahead and be on Twitter or Facebook, because that's where you're going to be able to see the vlogs appear, along with anytime I post photos or make some comments, etc. And that is where you're going to probably first hear about me making requests for questions for Q&A 18.0. And I'll probably do it in a few videos, but it'll be a very limited window of opportunity for you to submit a question. So be sure and keep a lookout for notifications regarding the next installment of my Q&A series, Q&A 18.0, coming sometime in July or August, or whenever I get around to it.